What's up, everybody? This is Coburn C Capshaw / Mr. Smiles a Lot with yet another Let's Talk Media LLC podcast. It's been a long time since I've talked to you guys. How you been? Today's going to be another podcast where I just talk about random things that bring me joy and things that I love to talk about and things of that nature. But this time's going to be different. We're going to put on a little bit of Lofi in the background from Chilled Cow on YouTube. So let's do that really quick. Just so you can all have a nice little elemental music to listen to in the background to help you keep focused and, well, pay attention to what I'm saying, I guess. Here we go. Let's see. Advertisements, of course. That's going to happen. Hold on one second. Here we go. Is that a little too loud for everyone? Sorry. So, today's podcast, I'm going to be just talking about random things that have been going on in my life and everything like that. So I guess we could say start off. I'm absolutely loving my new job at security at Deerbergs where I'm working. I'm actually very well respected. I'm doing my job right. Everybody likes me, and it's nice knowing that I can actually be an authoritative figure when I need to be. But as you all know, I'm trying to be as nice as I can, so I don't like to say I'm going to use force by any force means that could hurt or harm anybody, because, you know, I'm not going to do that. But whatever. So, you know, I left my old job for personal reasons. And those personal reasons, well, they, if you want me to be honest with you, my hours are my hours. There were no vacation days. They didn't care about me at all. I didn't like the work politics. I did not like how this one other worker would come in and complain about something every single day. And how she would always complain about literally something. If you're there, then you're supposed to do your job, you know? I was not making a lot of cash. And they treated me very poorly. They sent me to a library knowing that I needed my city license only. And they even bothered to ask the other officers around if they would be willing to go work that shift. Well, here's the problem. If I would have gotten questioned by the police officer who was doing his rounds at the library, that would have been a $10,000 fine on me, a year of revocation on my license, and I would have probably gotten detained and arrested right then and there. I'm sorry, but would you stick around with a company who treats you like that? I certainly wouldn't. At this new job, I'm making a lot more cash. I'm very well respected. People like me there. I don't have any issues with anyone. I love all the people that I work with, and everyone's really nice. I guess you could say another little thing. Oops, YouTube. Oh, there we go. I guess another little thing is that, I could say I did leave my CrossFit gym for my own personal reasons. I wanted to prove to everyone that I can do it on my own. I'm now back in my 250s in my weight, so clearly I'm showing that I can. Excuse me, I need to take a drink of water. My throat's a little dry. And honestly, my PT, he was cool, but he did not treat me well sometimes. He would be very mean and very manipulative, and he would say things to me that were not professional in any way at all whatsoever. He basically treated me as in my weight determined who I was as a person. And sometimes I wouldn't even want to go, and that was his fault. So I am no longer on speaking terms with him, but I hate to admit this, I'm a lot happier. I'm a lot happier that I can do whatever I want now. Mind you, I'm still fasting, I'm still eating clean, and I'm still exercising, but I get to work out when I want to. I get to recover my body however long I want to. And I get to do the workouts that I want to. And it's nice because now I can go on a date night with my wife and have a cheat meal every now and then, and I feel bad about it the next day because, well, I'm doing whatever I want to do. At some point in your life, you have to realize that you need to move on from certain things. Especially when you know that you yourself have the will and determination to do so. Me, I'm glad that I did. I was tired of being manipulated by him. I was tired of being hurt by his words, and I was tired of him determining who I was based on my weight and how much I went to the gym. And it's so funny because he says he's a professional business owner, and he was like, oh, I've done this for so long and that, and I was the only one who believed in you. That's not true. Everyone else believes in me. Everyone else knows that I have the will and determination to do things on my own, as long as I give myself that chance. I guess I didn't think that I had the chance because I was relying on him way too much for my fitness goals and for how I wanted to look. I still have my boxing coach, MMA coach, who I absolutely love because, let's be honest, I'm a martial artist through and through, and I will continue training even until the day I pass away. I know that I will, as much as I can. Like, I love CrossFit, don't get me wrong, I love working out, but when it comes to real workouts, in my opinion, I feel like martial arts workouts are the best because you get to work on your fast twitch fiber muscles, you get to work on your sculpting muscles, you can build up muscle, you get to learn how to have mental sharpness while being under pressure. You can also learn how to get that movement. It's really good cardio, from pivoting to slipping to blocking to ducking to jabbing, everything. For all you boxers out there, martial artists out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I actually got a more intense workout doing my martial arts workouts than I did my CrossFits. But believe it or not. But everyone's different. Everyone works out different. And just do what you can to stay in shape. Do what you can to better yourself. That's the best advice I could give to you, Sorry I haven't been on social media for a while. As you will know, sometimes I post my food for thought, or hashtag food for thought posts. So that way I can let people know that I'm still there. And it's been a while since I posted a martial arts workout or even a podcast like this, or even a workout in general. Besides, for those of you check out that I've been on my Peloton. Speaking of which, I have a Peloton now, and wow, speaking of exercising, it's crazy how big of a workout I get out of that. It's insane. Like, you would think that it wouldn't be that intense. First time I did the 20-minute beginner warm-up class with the instructor Cody, and then last night I did the 30-minute weight strength training class with Maddie. And what's crazy is how they focus on low weight, high rep, and slow reps. And it might not seem like it's that intense, but let me tell you one thing, I was sweating like crazy. So it's way more intense than you think. Matter of fact, with the Peloton, I feel like what I'm doing now, and that I'll still be able to stay in shape no matter what. And I can definitely tell that, I've slimmed down a lot. I'm putting on more muscle. My wife even said the other day, you seem to be slimmer. And she's like, I can get my arms around you easier when I hug you. And that's a great feeling. It also really helps that I'm on my legs for 8 hours a day at my job too. I'm definitely building up my leg strength. I'm definitely getting my cardio back in. All good things are coming my way. I'm still training Friday. I might end up training my buddy Gavin here soon. Things are great with my friends. Things are really great with my mom. I hope everyone else is having a positive experience that I am too. Sorry if I'm saying a whole lot. It's just, it's been a while since I've done this. It's not that I'm nervous or anything, but usually I have a lot of subjects to talk about. But today is just kind of more of a freelance podcast. I know usually in my other ones, I have subjects to talk about with somebody whenever we do talk. But you know what? Matter of fact, while we're here, since I'm just kind of freelancing, why don't we go to Google and look up the health benefits of standing on your legs for 8 hours a day? So give me 1 second. I hope everyone's doing great today. I hope you're all having a lovely day so far. I hope everyone else is happy. So, here we go. What are the let's type in health benefits of being on your feet for hours a day. Let's see. Okay, so we have WebMD. Of course, WebMD is going to have something negative to say because, it's WebMD. They're always trying to scare you. 1 second. Standing 5 hours a day contributes to significant and prolonged low limb muscle fatigue. A small study concluded this may raise your risk of long-term back pain and musculoskeletal disorders. No, I don't believe it. If it wasn't for my job, I wouldn't be in my 250s range again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna discredit that. They're saying only 2 hours. Okay, well, let's read on a little bit more. Why not? This is a good news for the millions of bank tellers, retail assistants, assembly line workers, and others who earn their living on their feet. The study authors pointed out that almost half of all workers worldwide spend more than 3/4 of their workday standing. 2 hours of standing on the job is not associated with problems, but a longer period is likely to have detrimental effects. So, I'm not, look, no offense to WebMD, but I feel like a lot of times they say things just to make you want to be scared or discredit, what you're doing. I'm gonna, I'm gonna go back. Sorry. I don't believe any of this. Let's see what Quora.com has to say. See, this person says it's really good for her, and she says she has no permanent damage. Yep. Yep, so people, I'm not a medical professional, but from my experience, I would say that standing for 8 hours a day may or may not affect one's health depending on a number of factors, from one's general state of health, one's age, weight, level of fitness, and even what footwear one is wearing. Also, if one is standing in one spot and is not allowed to move, that affects... Okay, so that is true. So because of, I do have some heavy gear on because of my job, right? But because I actually have the Reebok shoes, work boots, instead of the big clunky heavy Inceptors I got from Walmart years ago, I can definitely tell that those shoes help a lot. And I'm only 29, speaking of age, and my weight now is 257, right? As opposed to when I was 265 when I started. So me being a bigger guy, well, the intermittent fasting helped too, but me being a bigger guy, I need that for me personally. I fast all day at work, then I come home and eat dinner. Sure, it might be like late at night around 10 o'clock, but I'm also not eating all day long. So for me personally, I do know and feel like as if standing on my feet is really good for me, especially for 8 hours a day. And the best part is I've gotten used to it now. I've gotten used to being on my feet again. And at first it was hard. Not gonna lie, those first 2 days, whoo! But I've been there for about 2 weeks now, I would say. And I don't plan on ever leaving. I love this company. So for me, it was a good thing for me to get my legs back in that kind of motion, that standing motion, so that way I know that I can do it, Let's see, what is the function? Definition of prolonged standing. Okay, prolonged standing is defined as standing for over 8 hours. Funny, I do that. Most people with office jobs will be at the desk for roughly around that time, while those in more manual jobs could be on their feet for even longer. Some of the more extreme risks associated with prolonged standing includes chronic venous inefficiency, pain in the lower back and feet. See, now I don't have any pain at all. That's where I'm kind of confused on. And birth complications in pregnant women. Okay, well, if you're pregnant, that makes sense, come on now, let's not discredit that. However, all that said, this is what happens when you still stand still for 8 hours. Well, I'm not standing still, I'm constantly moving around, right? There are very few, if any, jobs which require you to stand completely still for 8 hours at a time, right? I'm glad I don't have to do that. If I had to, I think I would go nuts. Let's be honest. If you have a manual job where you're walking around making deliveries or working with your hands, this would not apply to you because you will be constantly moving, right? Like a security officer, like I am. Similarly, if you work in an office, you are likely to be walking around to different colleagues, making phone calls, cups of tea, or just moving around to print documents or go to meetings. So even if you use a standing desk, it is very unlikely you will be standing completely still for the entire 8-hour day. Right. How to stay comfortable while standing. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you do opt to use a standing desk indoor office job, there are things you can do to stay comfortable throughout the day. Keeping your weight on the balls of your... Excuse me. I didn't mean to belch there. Keeping your weight on the balls of your feet while keeping your knees slightly bent, as this is less tiresome on your hips and knees. Over time, you will learn to shift your weight along with your legs. I think they have a typo there. Using the balls of your feet. This helps blood flow and gives you some pretty strong calves in the meantime. Ain't that the truth? I guess you could say an example for me is that there's the little microwave stand, cabinet stand where the U-scan is at the Deerbergs that I work at, and I lean on that all the time, and that really helps a lot. And I do put my weight a little bit on the balls of my feet, so they have a point there. Try to alternate between sitting and standing at your desk if you can. I don't have a desk. We spend a lot of our lives sitting down, driving, on the sofa, at a restaurant, in bed. So try to prioritize standing when you can, but you don't need to spend the entire working day on your feet. Sadly, I do, but like I said, I'm fine with it. I've gotten really used to it. For some exercise ideas, you can do subtly at your desk of the day. Read an article on working out at work. Okay, so if you prefer to get a quick but efficient workout done in your lunch break, including lunchtime HIIT workout. That's so funny because even Peloton has HIIT workouts. I think that's really funny. So, do you burn calories when you stand? I am going to personally say yes. Yes, you do. You burn twice as many calories as see. Oh, and here's a perfect example. So Frank Canetto, the owner of Canetto's House of Pasta restaurant, in my opinion, best Italian restaurant here in St. Louis. I don't care when anyone else says fight me. I'm just kidding. He lost like 70, 80 pounds, and all he did was walk. That's it. He didn't change his diet. He ate what he wanted, and he still did what he wanted. And all he did was walk around. And this man lost 70 pounds. That is absolutely insane. So right here, it's going to help prove my point even more as I read this to you. So, you burn twice as many calories when you stand than when you sit. We burn 1 calorie a minute sitting, 2 calories standing, 4 walk, and then 4 on walking. Not 4 walking, not F-O-R, F-O-U-R. Research has found that on average, obese people sit for 2 hours and 15 minutes a day longer than lean people. With this in mind, it could be inferred that standing is healthier for you than sitting. However, standing puts more pressure on your joints and your back. Okay, look, again, I'm only discrediting that because of how much physically better I feel personally. But I'm not saying that's not a factor. Every article that we've looked at so far, at least I've looked at with you, or for you guys, not with you, well, you can look at it if you decide to go look at it. All of them say the same thing about that part. So I'm not discrediting that, but for me personally, I am because I feel amazing. So it is actually a combination of both sitting and standing that's best for your health. If you find that your back aches when you stand for too long, try these back exercises, and I guess there's a link you can click on, which will strengthen your muscles and strengthen your core with this flat stomach abs workout for best results to prevent aching when you stand. Okay, so how many hours a day are you supposed to stand? This is going to get interesting. Experts have found that you should I can't even speak today. You should try to stand for at least 2 hours per day, but up to 4 hours per day could be optimal. This might seem like a lot, but there are lots of ways you can fit standing in your day. Here we go. For some people, getting a standing desk is not an option, and some, like me, and some people feel like if they are not sitting at their desk, it looks like they're not doing work. Try parking your car further away from the office so that you can have a little bit further walk each morning, in the evening when you to your car after you go home. Walk around when you take phone calls, if there are any toilets in each level of the building, go out of your way to use the furthest one from your desk. A few small habits each day could be the difference between a healthy lifestyle and suffering from unnecessary health complications. So that's a good example. So for me, when I do my rounds, I'll go around, I'll walk outside, and then I'll also, go inside, outside, so I'm constantly moving. Man, that water's tasty. The only time I really ever stand is when I'm by the use scan and I'm observing people, making sure they're not doing anything dumb or stupid or anything like that. Oh, sorry, gotta stretch. Oh, man. I had a really interesting first experience. So first day there, I almost had to arrest somebody. And then the other time I had to almost physically remove somebody from the store. The other day, we kicked out a guy for aggressively staring at the deli counter, like he wanted to hurt someone. And then we had a lady who tried to steal a bottle of Tanqueray. Really? If you're going to steal something, at least make it good, like whiskey or something, or tequila or vodka or something that's, not disgusting. No, but I digress. Don't be a criminal, please. I will never understand why anybody would ever want to break the law. What do you get out of that? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. I could go into detail about what happened, but to protect the name of Deerbergs and to protect my job title, I'm not going to go into detail about that, kind of like how I didn't go into full detail about what happened with my trainer in my old job, because I don't like being controversial. I do believe I should be able to say what I want to say, but as you all know, I try to keep things as clean as I can because I don't need any flack coming back to me. I want everyone to know that I love them, and what I'm saying right now, it's not out of harshness. It's not out of being mean. There's no ill will. Ill will, is that the right word? Towards the people that I am talking about. I'm just letting you know how I feel in my reflection on it, okay? I'm not attacking them. Or at least, if it sounds like I am, I'm just trying to clear that up right now. That's the last thing I want to do is attack them because that's not fair to them. Because that's not the kind of person that I am. As you all see through my social media posts. I'm trying to think of what else I could talk about. Shoot. I love working security because it's a very honorable job. I'm now an essential worker again, and it makes me feel good knowing that I'm helping those who need my help and who are actually looking for it. It's like they say, if you're a ditch digger, be the best ditch digger that you can be. Me, I'm trying to be the best security officer that I can be. I'm trying my best in every single way, obviously. I'm trying to be positive. I'm always really nice to everybody. What means the most to me is when people say thank you for serving. Thank you. I'm not a military man, but serving as a security officer, people say thank you for being a security officer. We appreciate you. People tell me they respect me. This one lady, she said, if you keep being nice as the way that you are to everybody, God will bless you one day for being like that. And that means a lot that she said that to me. That was very, very sweet of her to say that. And I do believe she's right. I do believe God will bless me one day for trying to be as nice as I can. Am I perfect? No. No one's perfect, ever. But it does help that she was nice enough to say those very kind of words to me, which meant the world to me as well. As you all know. So I'm trying to think of what else to say. Sorry, one second. I'm just trying to get my little outro here fixed so that way whenever I sign off, you all can hear it. There's a lot of things going on in this office that I have at home right now. Well, until my wife and I turn into a guest room, it's nice that I can have my guest room be my office, I'm sorry if I'm rambling on. I'm sorry if you all are getting bored. But to those of to those of you who like to listen in, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see, what else can I talk about? My song. I've been working on a song with Freddie. And until I finish the lyrics, and after I do that, we're going then to finally put it together. So we found really good instrumentals. I love the beginning of the song that I already have, and then the second chorus lyrics, or the second bridge, if whatever you want to call it, musical terms. There's lyrics, there's bridges, there's lines, cadence, not cadences, well, different ways of singing. So the second verse and verses, so the second verses / second lyrics that I came up with are very good, or at least I think pardon me, I think they came out really well, but I just have to find a way to fit the lyrics within the beat of the song, because at first it's a 1, 2, 3 step, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then when it gets to the second half of the lyrics, or not lyrics, I'm sorry, the instrumentals, when I'm trying to put the lyrics in, it becomes a 1, 2 step, you know, like rhythm, okay, cadence, there we go. So that's a cadence, yeah, I was using that term right. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I think what I have to do is I have to try to find a way to make my lyrics a little bit slower, maybe, or just try to fit the instrumentals more, so that way I can go from the 1, 2, 3 step to a 1, 2 step. 1, 2 step. Please don't copyright claim me for that one. Sorry. I'm just trying to be silly. I hope you all are enjoying what I'm saying. I hope you all are enjoying the journey of listening to me talk. Yeah, I know, I'm crazy. I would do a video podcast right now, but, you know, this is much easier because once I upload this, that's all I have to do. And it has been a while since I've posted on my social media, so I thought I would just give you a little mini, you know, podcast, or, let's see, I'm in 26 minutes in, so I don't think this is many. I've been at it for a while now, but, man, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm boring you. I really am. Let's see. You know what? Let's look up the health benefits of intermittent fasting. Yeah, why not? You know what? It's my podcast. I'm going to do what I want, so we're going to do that. 1 second. What are the health? I really need to get somebody to sit here with me and look it up for me like Jamie does for Joe Rogan on his podcast. Intermittent fasting. Here we go. Very first one, 10 evidence-based health benefits of intermittent fasting. By the way, when I was 310 pounds, that's exactly how I got down to 240. I did shoot back up, but now I'm back in my 250s range. So the good thing is I haven't really gained a whole bunch, but I also haven't lost a whole bunch. I don't know I know some of you all know. Did I say this in an advice video or one of my other podcasts? I might have, but I'm going to say it again really quick. So what happened to me, which was absolutely terrifying, is that I had a sharp shooting pain down my left arm randomly every now and then. My left pec would stick out further than my right, and it, you know, I was 310 pounds, and this when I was around 26, 27. So this is years ago, right? Well, actually not that long ago if you really think about it, because I'm only 29 now, but I was extremely obese and extremely overweight. I know that. And there's the old guy, not old, when I say old person, I don't mean a physical old man. Physical old man, I mean my old boss, who I used to work for. He had me move a metal door for him. And let's be honest, we know that furniture distribution weight is not the same as weights in the gym. So I decided to do that, and this thing was probably over 500 pounds, not even kidding. I threw my back out for 3 days straight, and then I ended up laying in my bed for the 3rd day crying because of how bad my back hurt. And the first thing I thought was I slipped a couple of discs. So the next day I went to the doctor and I said, give it to me straight. And what's interesting, they did a blood test on me. And sometimes I feel like they can find out more about you through your blood than your DNA. That's just my personal opinion. And he said, I'm going to give it to you straight, Mr. Capshaw. I'm thinking, oh no. He said, you have 310 pounds. You're extremely obese and overweight for somebody your age, your height, and your size. And he said, you have clogged... Now, this is going to scare you all, for those of you who haven't heard it, and if you have heard it before from my other podcast, because I think I talked about it when I was talking to Ethan at one point, maybe. But anyway, he said, you have clogged fat in and around your heart, and hear this, and my heart artery. He said, if you do not make a change, you are well on your way for a stroke and a heart attack, and then death. This is when I was 25, 26, mind you. Do you have any idea how terrifying it is to hear that as a young man who's just trying to live a healthy life? And let me tell you one thing. This might sound crazy, but it was an old post, but I go back to my Facebook post or the picture of the before and after, and I look at it as a reminder that I cannot allow myself to get there ever again. Will not allow myself to ever get there again, because I know how much healthier I feel 100%. So, let's, speaking of feeling healthy and things of that nature, let's look up 10 evidence-based health benefits of intermittent fasting, and then I think from here we might wrap it up. Alright, so intermittent fasting is an eating pattern where you can cycle between periods of eating and fasting. There are many different types of intermittent fasting, such as the 16/8 or 5-2 methods. Never heard of that. Well, I guess you could say me not eating until like I said before, and then 8 hours a day, or even beyond that, like when I wake up in the morning and then going to work and then don't eat until I get home. Numerous studies show that it can be powerful, that it can have powerful benefits for your body and brain. Here are 10 evidence-based health benefits of intermittent fasting. Here we go. Intermittent fasting changes the function of cells, genes, and hormones. When you don't eat for a while, several things happen in your body. For example, your body initiates important cellular repair processes and changes hormone levels to make stored body fat more accessible. Here are some of the changes that occur in your body during fasting. Insulin levels. Blood levels of insulin drop significantly, which facilitates fat burning. That's kind of obvious. Human growth hormone. The blood levels of human growth hormone may increase as much as 5-fold. Higher levels of this hormone facilitate fat burning and muscle gain and have numerous other benefits. Exactly. Cellular repair. The body includes... I can't even read today. The body induces important cellular repair processes such as removing waste material from cells. Gene expression. There are beneficial changes in several genes and molecules related to longevity and protection against disease. Many of the benefits of intermittent fasting are related to these changes in hormones, gene expression, and function of cells. Bottom line, when you fast, insulin levels drop and human growth hormone increases. Your cells also initiate important cellular repair processes, and change which genes they express. 2, intermittent fasting can help you lose weight and belly fat. Obviously, because I can see the major difference in how I look now versus how I used to look back then. Many of those who try intermittent fasting are doing it in order to lose weight, like myself and other people out there. Generally speaking, intermittent fasting will make you eat fewer meals, exactly, unless if you compensate by eating much more during the other meals, you will end up taking in fewer calories. Additionally, intermittent fasting enhances hormone function to facilitate weight loss. Lower insulin levels, higher growth hormone levels, and increased amounts of, norepinephrine, norepinephrine, noradrenaline. There we go. I think I'm saying that right. Medical doctors, if I'm butchering that, I am very sorry. I'm not trying to show any disrespect. I'll increase the breakdown of body fat and facilitate its use of energy. For this reason, short-term fasting actually increases your metabolic rate by 3.6 to 14%, helping you burn even more calories. In other words, intermittent fasting works on both sides of the calorie equation. It boosts your oh my goodness, I can't even speak. Metabolic rate. I need coffee. Metabolic rate increases calories out and reduces the amount of food you eat, reduces calories in. According to a 2014 review of the scientific literature, intermittent fasting can cause weight loss of 3.3 to 8% over 3 to 24 weeks. This is a huge amount. Yep. The people also lost 4 to 7% of their waist circumference, which includes that they lost lots of belly fat, the harmful fat in the abdominal cavity that causes disease. Oh yeah. So I've gone down about 5 pan sizes. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but it means a lot to me. One review study also showed that intermittent fasting caused less muscle loss and continuous calorie restriction. Let me see. All things considered, intermittent fasting can be incredibly powerful weight loss. A incredibly powerful weight loss tool. More details here. Blah blah. Bottom line. Intermittent fasting helps you eat fewer calories while boosting metabolism slightly, and it's a very effective tool to lose weight and belly fat, which is also extremely true. And then, let's see, number 3, intermittent fasting can reduce insulin resistance, lowering your risk of type 2 diabetes. I actually was a little bit afraid of that. I was really afraid that when I was 310, I did have a risk of being in that range for having diabetes. I definitely don't feel like I am now, but I could tell that my sodium levels when I was heavier, like like the weird feeling you get in your blood where it feels like it's like tight and restrictive, I don't get that feeling anymore. And to me that shows that my insulin levels were way too high back in the day. So speaking of insulin resistance, did I say insulin? Sodium, right? I was saying sodium levels, insulin. Sorry, I get confused between the two. Lowering the risk for type 2 diabetes has become incredibly common in the recent decades. Its main feature is high blood sugar levels in the context of insulin resistance. Anything that reduces insulin resistance should help lower blood sugar levels and protect against type 2 diabetes. Interestingly, intermittent fasting has been shown to have major benefits for insulin resistance and lead to an impressive reduction in blood sugar levels. In human studies on intermittent fasting blood sugar has been reduced by 36%, while fasting insulin has been reduced by 20 to 31%. Oh my God. One study in diabetic rats also showed that intermittent fasting protected against kidney damage, one of the most severe complications of diabetes. What this implies is that intermittent fasting may be highly protective for people who are at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. However, there may be some difference between genders. One study in women showed that blood sugar control actually worsened after a 22-day-long intermittent fasting protocol. Bottom line, intermittent fasting can reduce insulin levels and lower blood sugar levels, at least in men. So there are about 4, let's read a few more. I've got about 6 minutes left on my app until it cuts me off. So, intermittent fasting can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Also, to that other thing, I don't know why men tend to lose weight easier than women. That's the one thing I've always been kind of curious about, but also it's one of the things of where, I don't know, we just all have to try harder when it comes to the gym, I mean, shoot. Intermittent fasting can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Here we go, and this might be the last thing I read, and I'm probably going to wrap up from here. Oh man, sorry to stretch there. Oxidative stress is one of the steps towards aging and many chronic diseases. It involves unstable molecules called free radicals, which react with other important molecules like protein and DNA and damage them. Several studies show that intermittent fasting may enhance the body's resistance to oxidative stress. Additionally, studies show that intermittent fasting can help fight inflammation, another key driver of all sorts of common diseases. Bottom line, studies show that intermittent fasting can reduce oxidative damage and inflammation in the body. This should have benefits against aging and development of numerous diseases. So, okay, let's read a little more. Intermittent fasting may be beneficial for heart health. Obviously, I mean, I just told you, I had clogged fat and around my heart artery, and also my chest is even now. Like, when I press it, it doesn't even hurt. Like, I don't feel like I have a bulge in my left pec, which is nice. I mean, I do, because it's all muscle, because I'm a manly man. I need to stop. Anyway, so, heart disease is currently the world's biggest killer, obviously. It is known that various health markers, so-called risk factors, associated with either an increased or decreased risk of heart disease. Intermittent fasting has been shown to improve numerous different risk factors, including blood pressure, total and LDL cholesterol, blood, triglycerides, I think that's it, right? Anyway, inflammatory markers and blood sugar levels. However, a lot of this is based on animal studies. The effect on heart health need to be studied a lot further in humans before recommendations can be made. For me personally, I recommend that you intermittent fast. That's just me, Bottom line, studies show that intermittent fasting can improve numerous risk factors for heart disease, such as blood pressure, cholesterol levels, try that one word again, and inflammatory disease. I'm going to read a couple more. Intermittent fasting induces various cellular repair processes. When we fast, the cells in the body initiate a cellular waste removal process called autophagy. Autophagy, I guess. I don't even know how to say that right, I'm sorry. This involves the cells breaking down and metabolizing broken and dysfunctional proteins that build up inside cells over time. Increase, that one word, may provide protection against several diseases, including cancer and Alzheimer's disease. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm helping my brain out as well, obviously. Fasting triggers a metabolic pathway called that word, which removes waste material from cells, and that's on the bottom line part. Well, anyway, guys, I've pretty much said all I wanted to say for my podcast today. I just also wanted to say thank you all very much for those of you who have tuned in, who like to listen to what I have to say, who actually follow me, who actually view my videos. I really do appreciate all of you. And, maybe next podcast I'll have more of a structured things to talk about, or I could just look at more information online like I have been. But anyway, this has been Coburn C. Capshaw / Mr. Smiles a Lot. If you are in St. Louis and if you need a marketer, advertiser, if you need a boxing, MMA, movement coach, martial arts coach, what have you, if you want to talk, if you need a friend, if you need my help in anything, please feel free to reach out to me. This has been Coburn C. Capshaw / Mr. Smiles a Lot yet again with another Let's Talk Media LLC podcast. I really, really, truly do love you all. And I am now officially signing off, and I will see you guys next time.